Good pandemic morning. I'm so glad you're with me in the kitchen today. It gets lonesome as we're quarantining. Anyway, today got something very special lined up. I've got a guest on the show. I think I'm playing. You know how you play dress up and you pretend stuff? I think I'm in my own world, and I'm now on Food Network where I belong. You know how we are. And Rachel is my guest today. She's in Knoxville, and we are doing a challenge, she and I together, and we're going to make Swedish cardamom buns. What caught our attention is the cardamom. She and I have gotten together before, and we cardamomed cooked, and we love this. And it's a floral. It's such a fragrant. I just love to put cardamom in lots of stuff. Looking for recipes that call for this. It's such a great spice. And I'm distracted. Do you know why I'm distracted? This milk that I have been tempering, and it was supposed to get to 110 degrees. It has arrived. I have had such a time with this. You put your yeast in when it's at 110 degrees. Oh, it just went up to 114, 113. How did that happen? Well, that gives me a couple minutes. It can't be too hot. It cannot be too cold. You want it to be perfect. It's the secret to yeast breads. And so I heated this milk in a little saucepan. Well, of course, it got too hot, so I had to cool it down. Well, then it cooled too much, and so I had to put it in the microwave. And then it got too hot. So then I'm cooling it back down. We're at 111 degrees. And, 110. I'm going in. I'm going in. Get that yeast in. And what we're going to do is mix this up in this 110 degree milk. Whole milk, by the way. And it will sit for 5 minutes. While it's sitting, then I will put together the batter, the dough, and have it ready to put this into said dough. The dough itself calls for 3 3/4 to 4 cups of flour. I guess depending on whether it's getting too sticky or too stiff, kind of go slow while you're measuring that in. It also has 1 egg. It has 1 stick of melted butter. It has 2 teaspoons of the cardamom seeds. It has salt, and it has 5 tablespoons of sugar, not a lot. So anyway, I have mixed that up, and you can see I have got the dough working, the liquidy ingredients, the butter and the sugar and the cardamom. And I'm going to add the flour to that, and then I'll be ready to put my milk mixture. I've got to quit stirring this, but I want to get it all dissolved. You know how yeast will kind of lump up on you just a little bit? I'm done. Ooh, it still looks lumpy in there. I've had a time. I'm not really used to doing this into milk. Normally you put your yeast into water, warm water. So help me if this ruins my whole effort. It's so key to the end result is what happens with the yeast. I'm going to stir it just a little better and get it going. And I don't want to leave any of the yeast behind because I need it. Okay. I'm going to try to leave that alone and not mess with it. Okay, so I'm going to add the flour, then I'll add that milk, and it will rise for 1.5 to 2 hours. After that time period, it will be rolled out fairly thin on the counter, antibacterial Clorox counter. It's a pandemic. and fold it over, and then you do a wonky cut. It's a crazy wonky cut, and you're making strips. And I've never really been able to French braid my hair, although if this pandemic doesn't end soon, I mean, I'm gonna have to braid it. I mean, we all need to go so bad. But anyway, it's like braiding. You'll get that satisfaction. Maybe I'll learn to braid as I'm putting this together. And you're not gonna be able to see what that's supposed to look like, but they're just little buns, and they've got that cardamom filling inside of them, inside of those folds. And then there is a sugar and cardamom and water mixture that you brush on the tops before you bake them. They're not going to be overly sweet because there's not icing per se, but they're going to be so good. I'm excited. Let's go to Sweden today. Well, there you have it. It's a shaggy dough. That's what they said I was looking to accomplish, and I think it looks shaggy. This yeast is going to be great. Do you see? Can you see? I'm so wonky. Look at that. Look how it is raised. That's a good sign. All right, I'm going to put this milk yeast mixture into the flour mixture, and you've got to have a dough hook and a mixer if you're going to attempt this. 10 minutes it's going to go on the counter. I hope it doesn't. My mixer tends to do that. So we're going to pour this in, every last drop, and I'm going to get the rest of it out. We're going to go for 10 minutes, and then we're going to let it rise for an hour and a half. You know how your washing machine gets when the clothes get? This thing is walking all over my countertop. Little bits of dough fling out every now and then. Hang on. Wow. Whew. But here we are. We have arrived. It's a pretty ball of dough. So we're going to it said put it in a clean buttered bowl. I see no need for that. That looks clean. And it's kind of buttered because there was butter in this. And so I'm just going to put it here, and I will cover it with a clean towel. And while it's rising for an hour and a half, I'll mix up the filling. I think we've got a plan. Suffice it to say, my mixer is now in my trash can. Carl came in. He's looking at it. It was giving me some trouble anyway. And in the beating and the banging, normally that dowel doesn't come all the way up. But as I was beating and banging, anyway, I pressed that metal, and even taking the head off of the mixer, that dowel won't go in. So it has met an untimely death, and I'll be getting in touch with Amazon Prime shortly. In the meantime, my butter was softened, and so I was able to do this filling. I have got it rose so great. I have that dough onto a 14 by 20, and an Enneagram 1 will be precise. We measured it. Now we're going to smear this over the dough. I'm going to get this real and even, and then I'll show you how to fold it. All right, we have it spread out. I'm going to bring this up a third of the way. My surface, after I bleached it and antibacterialed it, you put butter on it, which I'm seeing now. That was helpful. You're folding it like an envelope. It's a very pliable dough, a soft dough, but it stretches, and gosh, that's pretty. I'm liking how that looks. Then you roll it. You roll it with your rolling pin. I have a friend who says, you do know grocery stores sell bread. Not today, they don't. It's a pandemic. Plus, this is going to be so much better. It's going to be tasty and delicious. This is also working that sugar and cardamom into the dough. Now, we are going to do 3/4 of an inch strips. You know, 3/4 of an inch isn't much. Just kind of trying to get a feel for what that will look like. Okay. And then these will be braided, twisted. It will soon be bread. Wow, wow, wow. This is working nicely. What you do is take one of the strips. It's got several layers because it's been folded. Then you cut it lengthwise, but don't go all the way to the end. Keep that little piece. You separate it and you start twisting. And you are going to the right. Kind of hold it down. Then this one, you go the same direction. This is so easy and so impressive. Deceivingly so. It looks like it was hard. It wasn't. Then you just take those and wrap them around each other, tuck it under. It's quick. You go lengthwise. You're going the same direction. Twist that one. Same direction. Then you will go the opposite direction. Go towards the refrigerator to start wrapping them. And I'm just going to take this one over, this one over, this one over, going the other direction. So you've got this. Then you just coil it. You coil it. Tuck the end under. Do you see how easy that is? And I'm getting a bunch of these, and they rise really, really big. I'm pretty excited.
Hello out there. We made some cinnamon cardamom buns today, and I'm going to taste them.
He's becoming a natural. They're not cinnamon cardamom. They're Swedish cardamom buns. Swedish.
They look like it's cinnamon. They're very good.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
They are beautiful on this side. There were 2 pans, and one pan was on the bottom rack of the oven, and it had just a little problem.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. We'll eat them anyway, though. No problem.
We'll eat them.
Well, but you got a good one. I don't think, oh, no, yours is a little.
It's good, though.
Does it taste burnt?
No.
Okay. I've heard charcoal's kind of good for you.
Very good.
I think they're delicious. And it's a learning process. Next time I'll know. It was a 425-degree oven. That's hot.
350, I think, to do it.
3.
350 next time.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And there were buns.